Two words. Slot, ball, baby. Maybe that's three, but this is the perfect explanation and iteration of what slot ball is supposed to look like. There are some critiques in this game, in this Liverpool versus Tottenham game, but widely some really great stuff going on today. Outstanding stuff by Szoboszlai, outstanding stuff by Salah, outstanding stuff by the entire team. I mean, I could pick them out all one by one and give you some amazing things and some great things that they did today. That would be like a 30-minute video. But you have to give it up to Arne Slot going into Christmas, top of the tree. Bing! And if you're a Liverpool fan, you have to be really happy. There's not much more you could really ask for out of Arne Slot in his first season. Top of the tree in the Champions League, top of the tree in the Premier League, and beating a dangerous Spurs side. I know they're the butt of many jokes, and I know that they are not really, being very consistent defensively as of late. And we'll talk about that and break that down, of course. But they're still a very dangerous side that can score at will. And you can see, and you could see in parts and in moments in this game that that's exactly what happened. Weirdly, when we were 5-0 up or 5-1 up and 4-1 up, I still didn't feel safe against this Tottenham Hotspur side. And I feel like if Ange Postecoglou can figure out his defensive tactics and get players that are willing to run for him, in a similar way that Jurgen Klopp kind of had, right? They have a very similar style of all-out football, heavy metal stuff, press until your legs fall off. I think they could get it together and we could see a really exciting Spurs team. It's like what Arne said 2 days ago in the press conference, is that there's no such thing as too much attacking football in football. And if the Tottenham board can trust Ange and they can give him some of the resources and he can sort out some of those defensive deficiencies, it's good. It's good for football. It's fun. It's fun to watch. 9 goals. I was not expecting this weekend, but I did expect a Dominik Szoboszlai masterclass and a quiet game for Mo Salah where he pops up with a goal and assist, and I was absolutely spot on in that. But before we jump into some of the details in this game, talk about the goals, we talk about the tactics, make sure you guys comment down below where you are watching from. We got people from all over the world watching. We had someone from Russia tuning in into the last one, someone from Ireland. Shout out to Ireland. And if you are anywhere in the world, tell us where you're from. We're trying to spread this all across the world. Maybe you connect with someone that is in your country or maybe even in your city. But thank you everybody for subscribing in the last 2 videos. We are growing out of control. The year's coming in and I'm so grateful for all of you. Let's jump into the game. So let's talk about Ange Postecoglou, man. I mean, I see the tactics. I see what he's trying to do here. I see that he's trying to do something different than what's really being done according to the Pep tactics that are very exciting right now. But there's a lot of defensive issues that are undoing a lot of the good attacking work that they do. Mainly, it's seeing players like James Maddison and seeing players like Pop Matar Sarr kind of just walk around on the field when this style of play requires so much energy and effort. And I see why they say Tottenham is the most entertaining team, but they have flaws. And you have to have a specific type of player. You have to have certain players that can run their asses off, that can be selfless, that can do jobs that they technically don't want to do. And that's why the Jurgen Klopp style worked so well. That heavy metal, all-out attack type of style worked, which he kind of tweaked and changed as the years went on with Liverpool. But he needed a Milner. He needed a Henderson. He needed players in there. He needed a Gini Wijnaldum. He needed players in there that would run their socks off, put in 12 kilometers, 15 kilometers a game, and have Herculean type of efforts, because that's the type of player that you need in there. The players that are in there, like a Maddison, like a Sarr, Yves Bissouma was okay. They don't have that type of fight and bite and willingness to do that. A player that would thrive in a system like that is obviously a Dominik Szoboszlai, who we saw absolutely went crazy today, right? And let's talk about him. He had a field day in that game because of all of the space that was being left in behind when they would throw 6, 7, 8 players forward, and they would just have Yves Bissouma and Sarr kind of deputizing the back two, which was very interesting, of Archie Gray and Dragusin, because when they would attack, they would just flood players forward. But it was so easy for Liverpool to play through that initial press because they were trying to win the second and the third ball, but it just wasn't happening for Spurs. And we would play through that press, and Sabo would find themselves in acres of space in behind the striker, and a lot of the times next to Luis Diaz. And let's talk about Luis Diaz as well, how he looks like a bona fide number 9 in that. I mean, the last time he played as a number 9, he scored a hat trick. Today, I think he probably could have and should have had a hat trick, as most of the players on the Liverpool squad probably should have. Salah, like I say, Szoboszlai probably should have had a hat trick today. But some of the movement and the fluidity from this Liverpool side was absolutely beautiful to see. It is slot ball at its finest, And Arne Slot just, I mean, it was easy for him today. He put together a masterful plan of letting Tottenham come on to us, play through their initial press, and break free. It was that simple. And some of the 1-2s in the final third between Szoboszlai, Diaz, Gakpo, and Salah was just a thing of beauty. And it's exactly what you wanted to see if you're Arne Slot coming over from Feyenoord. The way that you used to play is finally starting to click for Arne Slot. And these players are getting better, if you can even believe that, under him. I mean, I was listening to the commentary. Some of the transformations in some of these players has just been remarkable. Salah is putting numbers up that I don't think we probably will see in a long time. I mean, the man is almost on, 30 goals and assists already, and it's December. If he keeps it up, he's going to have a 60-goal contribution season, break the assist record, potentially break the goal scoring record in the same season. Like, are we watching an all-time season? Maybe this is the best season that we have ever seen in a player in Premier League history that we could potentially be seeing right now. For me, Mo Salah is the man of the match based off of numbers alone. The 2 goals, the 2 assists, insane game overall. The passing and vision from Mo Salah is unbelievable. And speaking of passion and vision, let's talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold's pinpoint delivery. He needs to do that more. We need the old Trent back, bro. But I think we do need to talk about how well he did against Son. Put him in his back pocket. And I know there's going to be some people that are like, Trent was a little, willy-nilly in the second half, trying a lot of things. He was taking a lot of risks from the back, but he also kept their most dangerous player completely out of the game. I don't even know if Son had a shot on goal. Credit to Trent Alexander-Arnold. You earned your contract today. Give it to him. But I would say Liverpool have the best midfield in the world, but that's not saying much against this almost non-existent Tottenham midfield. But it's still a good game for all three, especially Ryan Gravenberch, especially Alexis McAllister, and even more so for Dominik Szoboszlai, who's probably had his best game in a Liverpool shirt. And this is after we just said he had his best game in a Liverpool shirt against Newcastle. I love what I'm seeing with this midfield. I love how they're developing. I love how they're improving and getting better. And I was saying maybe Szoboszlai is a better number 8 than a 10. Let me shut my ass up. Dom knows what he's doing. Arne Slot knows what he's doing. And that's why they have the jobs. And I'm stuck on YouTube talking about how good they are at doing them. But Diaz all of a sudden looks like a number 9. 2 more goals today. And maybe we see Arne Slot play with that kind of almost like a 2 front man type of formation where Diaz is on the left side, almost playing as a second wide player. And Dom is on the right side, playing as a second wide player to Salah and almost supporting him. So it's almost like you're playing 2 front 2s. It was very interesting to see. And it was like we were playing a 4-2-4 at times. But the difference, and so was Tottenham, by the way. But the difference is that our number 10 gets back and defends like he's a number 6. And their number 10 doesn't get back and defend almost at all. Great goal by Maddison, but he needs to show more effort, especially if Sarr is not going to show any more effort. And that is the difference, the discipline from Liverpool's team versus the lack of discipline from Tottenham's team. And you could see it in spades in this game. They're still a dangerous side. They're still fun to watch. They're going to get a goal or 2, but you can't concede 6. Not at home. And I think that was the first time that they've ever done that. And I would go over the goals, but there's just way too many. But some of the combination play that we saw, like I mentioned before, was eye candy. It was absolutely eye candy. Szoboszlai to Mo. That goal was absolutely and the decision-making from Szoboszlai has improved so much. And we've been begging him to get better decision-making. And he was outstanding today and probably should have had more. But the goal that Mo set up for Dom and then the Diaz goal that was set up by Salah, this is true slot ball. This is true slot ball. But let's talk about some of the small little details. And this might be coming out of the blue, and I'm being nitpicky here, but Curtis Jones was anonymous today. And he was coming on, when he came on, he was guilty of a lot of the stuff that I believe Sarr and Maddison were guilty of for Tottenham Hotspurs. And you could see his lack of pressing and his lack of willingness to get on the ball gave Tottenham it gave Tottenham a shot. It gave Tottenham a chance. And as soon as he came on, as soon as Maka, who was the linchpin that I think today came off and was removed, Tottenham was able to get a foothold into the game. And not only on top of that, they removed Sarr, who I thought was one of their worst players on the field today, and brought on Bergvall, who just gave a damn, right? 18-year-old kid. Watch out for him. He's very talented, as well as Archie Gray. Shout out to Archie Gray. Shout out to Jed Spence, because they had a hard job today in keeping that front line quiet. They didn't, obviously, and you're asking Archie Gray to play as a center back against the best player in the world right now, and the best team in the world right now. It's a huge task and a huge ask. And but credit to those kids. I don't know what Ange is doing in that situation. I know they have some injuries and stuff like that. They probably need to invest into some backup center backs. But Bergvall came on and actually gave a damn. And Kulusevski tried to wheel the team in on his own. And it worked to a degree, because we had a player in Curtis Jones who wasn't doing the jobs that Maka was doing when Maka was on the field. And I think Curtis thought, well, the game's over. I can just kind of relax. But that's not the case when you're playing at the highest level. And I really want him to tighten that up, because if he's been playing so well lately, and this is me being nitpicky, but this is what I saw. Special shout out to Joe Gomez, and Robbo, though. I know a lot of you are going to come after Robbo for that goal, the Brennan Johnson header, and then Solanke getting the goal. I don't think that was all necessarily his fault, right? There's not a whole ton that he could really do about that. The ball got in between, or he was in between the ball and the player a little bit, and asking someone of his height, right, to try to deal with that is tough. If that was VVD, I feel like VVD is definitely clearing that, but it's a tough situation for Robbo. All in all, he looked good and gave Kulusevski a hard time in that first half, where Kulusevski started popping up on the left-hand side instead. And then Gomez was just calm and confident. It was beautiful. It played some beautiful passes out of the back and made some great interceptions, and was some great cover for Trent as well. They looked amazing today. Barn let in 3 in, which I personally felt like they couldn't do much about. I think a lot of the goals start from the midfield for me. And that's why my big gripe is with Curtis Jones, who came on and basically was non-existent for the rest of the entire game. All in all, it was a great result, though. Especially given that Chelsea dropped some points today, which we saw. And I knew that was going to end up happening. Chelsea is a very young team. I don't think they're ready for it. Arsenal keep trying to play like Stoke City. And I think this is Liverpool's title to lose at this point. I knew that a lot of these results would eventually happen. Arsenal don't have the guts. Chelsea is too young. And Liverpool are in the form of their lives, with maybe a generational manager and generational player in Mo Salah, who's having a generational season. But this caps a perfect Christmas result and an amazing Christmas present. But what's next? We have Boxing Day. Final game of the year. I'm very excited for that one. Let me know what your guys' predictions are for that match. Liverpool continue to march on. Well, actually, we have 2 more games before the end of the year. We have Leicester on Boxing Day, and then we have West Ham on the 29th. But you guys let me know what your prediction is for that Leicester game. I think we go on another riot. We're in great form right now. And I'm going to say, predict the Diogo Jota masterclass, baby, since I'm good at this type of stuff. I'm predicting everything this year. I might have to make a list of everything that I've predicted this year and say, like, loud, nah, look at this. Ryan Gravenberch, best midfielder in the world. Liverpool are going to be top of the Premier League by the... what else? Mo Salah is probably going to have 60 goal contributions this year. I predicted that, by the way. What else did I predict? Oh, Dominik Szoboszlai is going to have a masterclass against Tottenham. Mo Salah is going to have a quiet game and pop up with a goal and assist. He actually doubled that up for me. Brighton is going to be dangerous. Watch out for Chelsea. All these things that I've predicted this year, I might have to make a list for it, but this is me just ranting now. I love you guys. See you guys on the next one. Up the damn Reds, baby. Put down in the comments below who are your man of the match and what is your prediction for the next game. We'll see you on the next one. Love you all. Peace. Merry Christmas, by the way. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Boom.